Well, like the sign said, welcome to another edition of the Madness Basketball Podcast. Myself, TP, Doc, Lord Jamal just popped in, DK, and myself. I got some background from you, Jamal. Um, I know everybody wanted to hear me congratulate the Bootskins on their hard-fought victory last night.
Yes.
Y'all know I'm me. So I need to get this off my chest because we've been saying a whole bunch of names. Fuck Ed Rett, fuck Smith, fuck Christian McCaffrey's daddy.
Daddy?
You don't like Ed?
No, I don't like Ed McCaffrey. I don't
What
like
Ed-
none of them.
What Ed
Fuck
done
Tim
done to you?
Tebow, fuck Chris Lee, fuck the mascot, fuck the cheerleader, fuck the second chair flute player, fuck the ticket taker. Fuck all of them. It's go nose around here.
Wow.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta let them know how you feel. Now, what the second chair flute player do to you?
You're right. I probably
You wrong.
I probably that was wrong. That was wrong of me. That probably was wrong of me. But
We learned from that though. We grown from that.
growth is an important thing. And with growth in mind, I would just like to say fuck Vernon Maxwell, fuck Andrew DeClerc, fuck Demetrius Hill from home team Demetrius Hill, fuck Joakim Noah.
What? Why we get a part two?
Fuck Bradley Beal, fuck Mike Miller, fuck all. You know what? Fuck Alfred, the mascot. Fuck him too.
Okay.
It is still go nose around here.
At least he ain't say Al Horford.
You know what? Fuck Al Horford, ancient ass, still playing in the NBA.
Oh my God! What
That
Al
man-
do to you?
I got some. For Steve Spurrier, for Danny Warford, for Jack Jackson, for Fred Taylor. Nah, Fred Taylor, he cool.
Bro, I was gonna say, hold on, Fred, cool.
For Joe Hayden, for Percy Parker.
Oh, but all that being said,
I hate them Gators with a passion.
all that being said though, they I gotta give them credit. They for them to get beat down physically the way they was in the first half, and the ref letting them play in the first half, and them still being striking distance, kind of deep down, you kind of knew they was gonna hang in and win.
Yeah.
So watching this game, right? You got to go back to Duke's epic failure in the second half against Houston, right? The game before. And Houston was riding that high. And they rode it into the first half of this game.
As long as they could.
And you can kind of see it building. They might fold this. And you know, I'm hoping Houston wins. You know, they playing good ball, they physical, they rebounding, they dunking on people, they hitting threes, the pick and roll, everything. It was a complete game from Houston. But they just did not have enough in the tank to finish it off. They had used all of their emotion in that Duke game. Yeah. There's only so much momentum you can take into a game where you are already physically outmatched. And, it caught up to them in the second half. They blew a lead, just like Duke did.
Now, I want to be fair, right? Throughout the game, Houston was out rebounding Florida.
Absolutely.
Also, Houston had an advantage with their power forward. What is that young man's name? For the life of me, I can't think of his name right now.
I'm not sure.
But
I was just watching
it. They were physically manhandling them in the post with shorter players. Mind you, Florida had a 7'1" dude, and a 7'9" dude. And they put that 7'1" dude on that power forward, and it was mismatched. It was Ole or foul. And it was a beautiful thing of basketball. And then Cryer, every time I turned around, he was just hitting timeless shots in the first half and like the first 6 minutes of the second half. After that, I guess the refs had a meeting and they decided we're going to call this like regular basketball. Because the first half, it was anything goes. Like, I want to keep it a book. They was not calling no fouls on Houston because Houston was being the aggressor. When Houston stopped being the aggressor, they stopped getting calls. I think it was 13-1 down the stretch in foul calls.
Yeah.
And them 7 free throws is the ball game.
You can't play not to lose in a championship game.
Yeah.
We've seen it time like in every sport. This transcends sports, the mentality that we're gonna try to hold the lead and hold them off and try to not lose the game.
Yeah, no, that don't work. That don't ever work.
Because you always end up losing the game. Or you at least make it, interesting down the stretch. And we know what happens when things get interesting. Anything can happen.
Yep.
You see that at the end of the Houston Duke game. There is no way.
Exactly.
There's no way Houston is even in the championship game. Cooper Flag, you let your team down. I'm sorry. You let your team down, you let yourself down.
And the other dude too. But Tyrese Proctor missing them free throws though.
Dude missing the free throws, and then the lazy inbound pass to just give him a free 3 points.
Hey, what you got, Doc?
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
Words of the illustrious Herm Edwards. You play to win the game.
You don't play it, just play it.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to. This is, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and just start off this segment.
Check ball. What?
Because I told y'all it was going to be a problem with Duke, with Cooper Flag and Knipple. And Knipple was coming through in the clutch when Cooper Flag was not. He was cutting to the hole. He was making timely plays. When it came down to it and they put the ball in Cooper Flag's hands. And this ain't the first time I told y'all about Cooper Flag in a game. And I don't normally like to critique players. That's not what I normally like to do. But this particular player, we've been seeing this all season. They just been covering it up because they've been blowing teams out. But down the stretch of games, he ain't been that guy. And it came back to bite them in the behind in the Final Four.
But that's traditional Duke fashion, though.
Yeah, that's
same
true.
thing happened with Zion Williams. Same thing.
Oh, man.
That is traditional Duke fashion. They will whoop ass all season. Get to the end and fall the fuck apart.
Yeah.
What's going on, Ash?
Yeah.
What up,
I think we try to write these stories in our head, right? And I'm guilty of it because what did I say the whole time? I said Houston winning it all. And going into the tournament, they had won 14 straight. So they were the hottest team in the country. They go in, they win a couple nail biters, right? They get to the Final Four. You got to play probably the best team in college basketball. I understand Florida ended up winning it, but I still think Duke was a better team than Florida. If Duke would have played Florida in the Final Four, it would have been Duke. But you get to this game, hottest team in the country, and you're down going into the last 2 minutes of the game, and the Cinderella story shows his head again, right? Because we know what Houston's been battling in the last 3 years. They keep making it to the Sweet 16, Final Four. They just can't get over the hump. They come back and beat Duke, and we finally it's about to happen. They go into the Florida game. riding high. They come out aggressive, shooting, dunking on people. That dunk in the first, bro, that shit was nasty.
Man.
And you're like, and the story is writing itself. And you're like, Houston.
I was like, here we go, bro.
Yeah.
I knew it. Like you could tell, you could feel the energy just
like
switched.
this is a team of destiny right now.
But
this is a team of destiny. And what happens? You get too ahead of yourself. You start counting chickens before the eggs hatch.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that. Exactly. You couldn't put it better.
And they end up folding in the end. You know, Florida is the champion.
Blech.
I mean, they earned that one seed throughout the season. They're 35-4 going into the championship game. They are truly deserving of being a champion. You know what I mean? This isn't to take anything away from them, but I think everybody had it in their mind that Houston was the team of destiny, especially after beating Duke.
I'm gonna say this because Ash is here. Why I look on Twitter and Ash got on his Gator gear.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Man, if he wasn't FAMU, I would have blocked him.
I'm trying to figure it out. Is he FAMU or is he Gator Town?
It's a lot of FAMU fans and alumni that are Gator fans.
Why?
And it's because it's
So y'all don't understand the complicated history between FAMU
Yeah.
and Florida State.
just to give you an example where Florida State currently resides, FAMU used to reside there.
Yeah.
But because of the snake
Yeah.
infestation, they switched campuses. So that's just a little bit. That's like the start of everything. So I understand. I understand a lot.
Ask yourself why FAMU Law School is in Orlando and not Tallahassee.
Or why FAMU don't have a medical school. It's a
Or
long
why
history.
we don't have a medical school.
Nah.
Or
It's a
why
long-
they keep blocking the dental school. Like, we can keep going.
Yeah, so it's a lot of reasons why. So I do understand it. Am I disappointed any less? No, but I do understand it. But that being said, yeah, Florida, congratulations to you. Shout out to that kid that fell off the sign in Gainesville. You showed that you were truly a boot skin by busting your ass on the street. And the police was nice enough not even to take you to jail because you were so stupid. Go boot skins.
What you say?
I ain't think he wants to shoot.
At least he didn't fall from a light pole.
Yeah,
You spend all your time.
Yeah.
You spend all your time going to college and only for the whole world to see you falling on the ground. Boot skins, boy, I tell you. All right, so
fan. The word fan is short for what? Fanatical.
boot skin is short for dumbass, but I digress. All right.
I'll let you have it.
So a few things happened, and so Florida State signed D2 standout Alex Steen from Florida Southern right here in Tampa.
I didn't even know that was a school.
What?
He's 6'8", 225-pound power forward.
Oh,
On the D2 level, he can guard 1 through 5.
At 6'8", I bet he can.
Go look at the tape. Go look at the tape because the tape that I saw was not the tape of a 6'8". He's going to Florida State now from
So
D2
is he not,
Florida
are they
Southern.
lying about his height or is he?
No, he's 6'8". He's 6'8". He looks like a monster amongst D2 players.
I was just about to say that. Or is he the biggest kid in the sandbox?
He's the biggest kid in the sandbox. I'm going to try and say this without offending certain people. But
Yeah.
remember back in the day when like Class A used to have these quote unquote all world players, and then when they got to Division I basketball or football, you realize that they was all world because they was playing during segregation.
Yep.
Do I need to continue?
No.
I don't know
So-
if he can play in the ACC.
So what you saying is,
Right.
and look, and look, we can even go back to the Negro League, but you know that's the whole nother conversation.
He looked real good against the competition he playing against. His numbers are 17 points a game, 17.9 points a game, 10.6 rebounds a game, and 2.5 blocks a game, and 1 steal per game. I don't know what true shooting is. I don't know what that means, right? 60% true shooting. I don't know what that means, but I think if I'm not mistaken, he's shooting 40% from 3, somewhere close to 40% from 3. And his accolades are 2-time NABC second team All South
Second
District.
team.
Hold on. It was a defense? Second team defense?
Second
Second
team.
team All South District. 2-time D2 CCA second team All South Region.
He
2-time.
is 6'8" and only made second team playing.
Wait,
D2.
2-time Sunshine State Conference Defensive Player of the Year 2023 and through 24 through 25. South of Sunshine State Conference first team this past year. Sunshine State Conference second team. I'm confused. It's a lot of stuff in here that makes
Hey,
no
why I
sense.
got so many letters?
Again, I when you hype me up about a player, I'm one of them fans that go look for the tape. I have a platform where I make sure that the fans, I don't like to be the dude that know ball. I want to be the fan guy. But when you make me be the dude that know ball, now I gotta ask questions. Okay, if this dude is this the best dude we can get? Because there are 6'8" dudes that play in mid-major conferences that have productive numbers. And I understand if you can play
against talent.
If you can play ball, you can play ball. However, there's a reason he's at Florida Southern and not at a USF, not at a Florida State, not at a Miami. So there's a reason there.
His grades, maybe.
Not if he had Florida Southern. His grades is not an issue. Now, again, the tape against the
Is
competition.
he a crash out?
No. Everything I've heard is he's a good guy, not didn't get into trouble. But if you look at the tape against the competition that he's playing, and granted, a lot of his threes are wide open, but he looks good against the competition he's playing. Now, do I hope he's a productive player and does well? Yes, absolutely. I want every player to do well when they go to college. My question is this going to be another program in the Florida State umbrella that we are going to question player evaluation?
Maybe.
More than likely.
Yeah.
We've not seen productive players from Florida Southern go on to the Division I level and do well. So these are questions that have to be asked. And where a lot of other guys are going, oh, he's 6'8" and this and he. Fuck the analytics. I know what my eye saw. My eye saw a dude bigger than everybody else dominating. That's what my eye saw. But
And we all know a 6'8" dude that is severely uncoordinated and can't play nothing. Dude, I know a couple of them. Dude, 7 foot tall. Can't do nothing.
Can't walk and chew.
Shoot. Man, can't do nothing. Bro was blind, so he can't even tie his shoes right. And you height about 6'8". Come on, man.
You ask Troy, all they need is a 7-footer in Florida State, and they're gonna be back to the promised land.
Right, every time. Every time.
Our 7'1" dude is coming back. 7'1" dude is coming back. We lost the recruit, but we do have one on the staff right now. We have a couple other recruits that signed from the transfer portal that are from mid-major conferences and I think a major conference. But again, are we building a team with an EBT card? I need to know.
You got an EBT card.
Because if that's what we're doing, stop trying to hype me up on expectations. And I get you need to sell tickets and build a program and all that. Don't oversell me. I just went through football season. Do not oversell me.
EBT card, man. No.
I want everybody to have a fair shake. And if you oversell me and players are not what you were reporting them to be, I'm not judging that player. I'm immediately going to the talent evaluators. Hey, what's going on here? And if the conversation is, oh, he's a development player, then say that he's a development player. Because remember, there's a D2 player suing for extra eligibility time. This kid has 2 years in D2. If he gets the extra 2 years, that's a kid that we have for 4 years. I know it sounds crazy, but if other people doing it, we can do it too. That's all I'm saying. But there's that. While we checking the ball, something happened in the NBA today.
Yeah.
Something happened in the NBA today. The Denver Nuggets fired.
Do not say the Denver Nuggets.
Hold on. The Denver Nuggets fired Mike Malone. The Nuggets currently sit in 4th place. Now, they currently sit in 4th place, but let's take a in-depth view on what we're looking at before we jump on Denver.
We ain't jumping on Denver.
They had a 4-game losing streak before he got fired, and he got fired on his day off.
The Denver Nuggets currently on their last 10 games have 3 wins and 7 losses. They are 3rd in points per game and 22nd in defense points per game. And as Doc said, the Denver Nuggets fired Mike Malone for stealing boxes out of the break room. That being said, with them being in 4th place, do you think it was right for them to fire?
I want you to stop saying Denver and say who really got them folks fired.
You really think that it was Jokic, man?
Yes.
And I guess it has to be, but
thank you. Because as an owner, I am number 4. Why am I firing people?
He's had 8 consecutive winning seasons. It doesn't make any sense.
Thank you. So stop saying Denver fired these people and say who really fired these people.
It's so that's wild to me. It's really wild.
Does it make no sense for ownership to fire? It makes no sense for ownership to fire nobody.
I'm gonna say this: if Jokic was behind this man getting fired, and somebody is going to leak it, because if they don't do well in the playoffs,
I hope they don't at this point. I hope they out in the first round just because of this.
But here's the thing: so repeat what was they ranking on defense?
22nd.
Who plays defense on that team?
It damn sure ain't Jokic.
It ain't
Okay.
nobody on the perimeter.
Aaron Gordon don't play defense, do
Hey,
No.
Watson,
he? Yeah, but what I'm saying
Christian
is,
Brown.
out of your main five, who plays defense?
Christian
None of
Brown.
them.
The-
None
The
of
shooting guard Christian Brown does.
No. The
White dude.
starting five. Who play defense on the starting five? Because I
Yeah,
can
he
tell
on the
you
starting
Jokic
five.
don't.
Yeah, he the only one.
So another thing, they so focused on Jokic trying to get another MVP. What is it? Like, dude, you have been bounced out of the playoffs of the second round of or conference finals the last 3-4 years after you won the championship.
It's only been 2 years. What do you mean?
Well, still though, they still been bounced out early.
So you win some, you lose some. But they've consistently won 50 games. If they turn it around and win the last 3, that'll be another 50-win season in a row, right?
Right.
So
Here's
last year they won 57 games. The year before they won 53 games. The year before that they won 48 games. So they went 3 years in a row, 50 plus wins, right? You win a championship. You're sitting in 4th place with an opportunity to get into the playoffs and make a run with a guy that has won a championship and has consistently gotten you to the Western Conference Final. Like, I don't understand the move right now. Not right now. You let the season play out because you can't. Usually, when you fire your coach, you think that, oh, we're going to get better. But if you fired a coach with the same staff that was already on the sideline, did you get better? Did you improve your team from yesterday to today?
Well, you can say the same thing. Let's say the same thing about Memphis. How you gonna fire the all-time winningest coach in franchise history, and they sitting there in what, 5th place?
They
Yeah, that makes sense. They've tanked since then, actually. They've actually tanked since then. I think they were 3rd when they did that. If I'm not
they were 3rd and now they're 8th.
So
and here's the thing, because I don't like the play-in situation. I really don't, because there's a 7-game gap between 8 and 9. You telling me 9 and 10 should still get an opportunity to play in their 7 and 8 games back from the 8th spot?
So let's take a look at the leading team in the West. All right,
it's the Thunder. They've been number 1 all season.
They have won 8 out of their last 10. They are 3rd in points per game and 1st in defense. They very well should probably cruise to the finals.
Nah, ain't about to be no cruise, because when they see the Rockets in the Western Conference Final, they better be on all cylinders. We on that ass.
No,
I ain't no cruising. Hey, go ahead and tell them to cruise. You know what? Never mind. Tell them to cruise. Tell them they got it. They ain't got to work that hard.
Oh, I think we got to know about that. But
tell them they ain't got to work that hard.
I just
around to get surprised.
I want to be fair. I want to be fair. It makes no logical sense to me why their coach is fired. Meanwhile, the Knicks are 7-3 in their last 10 games, 5th in points per game, and 13th in overall defense. I am not saying that you hire Malone today. Just know it's talent out there if things don't go right.
Here this man go. Here this man go. Oh,
look, here's the thing, right? what Malone has done with Jokic, do you think that there's still a Jokic without Malone? Like, do we have those championships? Do we have the
Success without Malone.
production and success that Jokic has had without Malone? I don't think so.
Malone,
I think he understands how to use a big who has the ability to pass the ball and have the offense run through him. If the New York Knicks want to win a championship, bring in Malone, right? He gonna turn Cat into a MVP candidate.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That's a good way of looking at it, I suppose.
If Tibbs don't win this year,
That's a positive way of looking at it.
This year, with the squad they got now, and everybody coming back healthy, if the Knicks don't win this year, you got to make a move. You got to make it. You got too much talent on that roster not to be serious.
You know what I appreciate about football that they don't really do a lot for a lot of basketball teams is you have coordinators that actually call the games. If you have a defensive specialist head coach, I understand when they still have full control over the defense. Like D'Amico Ryans for Houston still calls every defensive snap, but he lets his offensive coordinator do their job. And the offensive coordinator for us last year didn't do his job. That's why he's fired. We're going to bring in somebody else that's going to run the offense.
They can do their job.
You look at the NBA, there's a lot of coaches that, hey, you were a great offensive player or you have a great offensive mind. You need to bring in a defensive-minded coach that could be a head coach somewhere else. They just ain't got the opportunity yet, or they had the opportunity and it didn't work because they couldn't manage a whole team, but they can control the defense. Malone, I guess he lost the locker room, right? Because that's the only reason I can see this even happen. He lost the locker room. And you bring him into a situation where all he has to focus on is the offense. Because we know that the Knicks can stop people. Their issue gets when they get to high-scoring games and it's, 120 to 120, and now we having trouble scoring points in the fourth quarter. Bring in an offensive-minded guy to run the offense. They need to look at doing that across the NBA.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. Maybe we get less of a watered down sport if we start actually delegating responsibilities to other coaches on the coaching staff. But I will say this, what every head coach say, I don't see my assistant coach's name in the newspapers when we lose games. I get it. But that's your job as a head coach, is to put everybody in the best situation for the team to win.
Everybody,
including the coaches.
No, I'll just, I'll say this. While we still in the ball up top segment. I hope this works out. I hope they make a run. Because every player in that locker room, you know how NBA players are, they will start pointing fingers with anonymous sources real soon. So let them not win games, and it's gonna get ugly.
I mean, rightfully so. We gonna have our pound of flesh as fans. We gonna have our pound of flesh. You better believe that, because we gonna find somebody to blame, and then they gonna have to shoulder it until either ownership figures something out and they get rid of them, or they decide that they're gonna keep them, but they're gonna let them actually put the people that they feel is gonna be successful. Then if that still don't work, we move on.
We're going to monitor this situation and we'll get back to it. We're going to take a real quick break and we're going to be right back. Don't start, that won't be nothing. Speaking of Twitter beefs, so before the new year, I was awakened to Florida State news that I had not expected. 6 former Florida State basketball players decided to sue Leonard Hamilton because of missed NIL payments. And at first, I didn't know how to respond because I didn't have all the information. So shout out to Fries No Slaw, TJ Pinger. His podcast has had attorney Rohan on and explained all of the facts of the case. I don't care about who wins the case, who's right or wrong. What I care about is that there are coaches, the head coach, one of them, sending text messages about payments to players from the NIL collective. Wait for it. Fucking Rising Spear. For those who don't know, Rising Spear has been suspended from doing business with Florida State for the last year. I might have broke up, so let me say that again. Rising Spear has been suspended from doing business with Florida State for the last year. Apparently, Rising Spear was supposed to pay each of these players $250,000. Again, I want to start off by saying, fuck Rising Spear, their CEO, and everything he stands for. I hope he stub his toe every morning at 3 a.m. when he wake up. That's how I feel.
You know, that's funny, but I got one thing to add. Considering they was giving the men's players $250K to underperform, and how you had the number one scorer in the country over there living off of per diem, that's some crazy times across the track, boy. I tell you.
Do you understand how ridiculous it is that Denia Latson is now at South Carolina?
Boy, she about to be eating porterhouses every night, too.
Yeah.
No more ramen noodles.
Do you understand that for everybody?
She is officially a part of Dawn's daycare.
Oh yeah, they just won a national championship without taking a shot.
They absolutely did.
So we ain't talked about South Carolina losing to UConn, right?
No, we haven't.
We haven't.
Well, that's because because that just happened Sunday. So
everything. The fact that everything is happening in this prism is crazy.
Everything fresh.
So is Juju going to declare? Because she still would have one more year of eligibility.
Juju
she
cannot
coming back.
declare.
She
She's not
can't.
old enough. You got to be 21, so she's not old enough.
She's not old enough.
No, she's not old enough, so she got to come back. And two, I think she comes back anyway, just based on the shit y'all got me fucked up.
So let's go ahead and call it. Do we even have to play next season? South Carolina championship.
They're supposed to play the Battle of the Real SC at a home this coming fall anyway.
I'm not worried about that game. I'm talking about the rest of the season because both of these teams.
No, because that evil ass lady in Baton Rouge ain't gonna go away either. She ain't gonna go down without a fight.
Yeah,
she already trying to reload.
Fight all you want.
Fight all you want. And I mean, I think it's gonna boil down next year all to SEC women's basketball again. Because I also like what Coach Yo at Ole Miss did.
Miss is doing, because she got Olivia from Notre Dame.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
No.
Olivia
No, thank you for bringing that up. Allegedly, TCU contacted Olivia prior to them playing against them 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Yes. That's why me and Troy was talking about it. Troy was like, they better not say that. And I'm like, oh, they are. They are definitely going to say something.
I'm going to listen. Remember how I be dropping them little nuggets about what I know? If Notre Dame drop down, believe you me, there is a line around the door waiting to drop down on Notre Dame.
Well, yeah, probably Notre Dame football, but that's it.
Oh, no. Oh, it ain't just Notre Dame football. It is not. It is not. You know the best part about being a fan? For some strange reason, I pay money to be in other people's message boards because people
You're funny.
who have old money don't understand social media, but they've been on the message boards since CompuServe came out. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Notre Dame,
Kevin's making sure.
keep
But
your
but
mouth
I
quiet.
don't. But I don't want to just discount UConn because Paige and Ozzy are leaving. You know what I mean?
No,
Because Sarah Strong showed that she's the future. She's only a freshman.
yeah.
You know,
Sarah
and
Strong, well, you know what? No, I take that back because I know they got some high caliber freshmen coming in. So
exactly.
no, we're not gonna say so. Even though do we have a fuck Gino button today?
No,
I
no, we don't.
let me tell you what. Let me tell you how this
Even
going.
though
What
I
is
am
it?
not a Gino Allen, I am not a Gino fan. It
Oh,
would be foolish of me and non-basketball of me to be like, they ain't gonna have shit. That's foolish. I know better. I still don't like his ass though.
I
yeah, because you know they gonna reload.
They always
there,
gonna reload.
They always reload.
but I'll say this: if Tanaya Latson averages 19 points a game at South Carolina in Don Staley's offense, do you understand they averaging 90 points a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
They might average
That this is
120.
And nobody
this,
is considering what that. Everybody is thinking about that, but you're not thinking about what comes behind the Raven because if Tessa sits, then Tessa then rolls out with Full Wiley, Joyce, and Miriam on a. Oh, that's a starting five everywhere else.
Yep. I
Everywhere
mean,
else,
look,
that's a starting five.
like I said, I'm gonna paint a picture for y'all, right? So South Carolina, USC in the championship next year.
Yeah,
After,
well, that
that,
was my pick this year, but
I mean, Juju went down, so you
Juju went
know,
down.
and we don't, we still don't know if South Carolina. So if South Carolina had played UConn, or would they have played USC, or neither one, and UConn and USC would have played to get to the championship.
I think it would have been
No,
that they
it
would
was
have
on
played
opposite
UConn.
sides.
They were
It
opposite
would have
sides.
been USC versus UConn to get to the
yeah,
championship game. So
And
to
we
the
either
don't.
way,
game, yeah.
No, they
South
played
Carolina was
anyways.
coming.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
UConn and USC played anyways, and UConn won. But it was
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
without Juju, so it wasn't really.
Yeah, it was without Juju. That's what it was. That's what it was without Juju. So, we go into next year, right? And it's most likely going to be USC versus South Carolina, based on the simple fact of UConn's roster being so young. LSU still trying to find out who's going to be their number one. So, you look at that. But in 2027, UConn versus LSU. I'm calling it right now.
absolutely not. It'll still be UConn versus South Carolina because Latson from Florida State will still be there. Full Wiley will still be there. Um,
Okay.
um, a dog Tech sitting on the bench right now. She's 6'6". Like she out of Texas. Hell, Dog probably knows who she is. She's still gonna be there. Don is gonna keep her stable.
I about
She
to say,
got
ain't Raven
freshmen
Johnson
rolling
still gonna
in.
be? Ain't
She
Raven
got freshmen rolling in just like UConn did.
ain't Raven Johnson gonna still be there too?
Ooh,
Uh,
I feel like 26 is Raven's senior year. I feel like it is. I feel like she's been in college for a while. Hold on, let me.
But yeah, my thing is the favorite for next year is gonna be UConn. Even though they lose Paige, they still got a whole loaded team coming right back. You know,
I
Sarah Strong is gonna be she's gonna be the one that's gonna do the dirty work, and then you got KK Arnold coming off the bench. You got a lot of girls. Ozzy Fudd is coming back too, so remember that.
I also would like to say that I do not want to underestimate the
Yeah,
absolute.
Raven graduates 26. So next year, she's a junior this year.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we can speculate all we want.
Hey, we can. We
They still
definitely
gotta
can.
go play.
I know it's gonna be exciting though. Like that's gonna be some exciting ball.
The women's game really is kind of unpredictable because you just don't know. I mean, you know, like some of the players, you know, players coming back, but you just don't know who's gonna jump in that portal or who's coming in from JUCO, who coming in as a
When
McDonald's
does
All
the
American.
hold on? When does spring? Okay, so it's another 10 days for everybody to competed in the tournament, right?
Yeah. I think it just opened though. It's either open this week or open this week. It's open now.
It's
Cause
open.
it's open now. Cause Dawn's other senior that sat on the bench, she's 6'6". She in the portal.
Yeah, Sakima
Oh
Walker.
wow.
Sakina Walker.
Okay, well, this is gonna be an interesting situation. Um, while we ball up top, and I'm gonna take another look to make sure before I start going off on people. Um, just to make sure, just look Blake Harper's status because we got people reporting that Blake Harper. Okay, so I just want to point out real quick for the people who are reporting they have sources that say they know that Blake Harper has committed to certain schools. How can I say this gently? Stop. Because I bookmarked the tweet, and I'm not gonna name you now. But if he don't go to that school, we gonna be back. We're gonna spin the block. And we're gonna start talking about things like journalistic integrity, on the record and off the record. Because see, I myself get a lot of information from a lot of different people. And I have had to say on this podcast, I need to differentiate between on the record and off the record. So when you start saying stuff like you have confirmed that he has already committed, that means paperwork has been turned in and Howard would have got a notification. Howard has not made a statement. That young man's profile still says Howard University. And I know Howard can raise money. And like we said on this podcast, Howard is not your regular HBCU. The fact that Sports Illustrated was talking about him let the world know that spotlight and exposure is not an issue. So, so if we gonna play the I heard or I can confirm and just start making up stuff, and I'm not saying it's made up, but until the paperwork is turned in, it's not confirmed. Just so you know. Howard still got a shot, and I'm rooting for Howard. But that being said, we're going to talk about some other HBCU stuff. Because, again, it is still ball up top. And I think HBCU Sports did an article with Donte Jackson, former Grambling State basketball coach, current head men's basketball coach at Alabama A&M. And you can go read the story. The story is very interesting and compelling. However, I am a thorough reader. And there are things to me that jump off the page. Things like when you start talking about NIL studies. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say that again. When a coach asks a university about the situation of NIL, and he's told that they are going to conduct a study. If you read between,
I stuff on me. I care.
if you read between the lines, they don't want to give players money, but they want to give somebody money to do a study.
It can make sense.
Hey, but then we've talked about that on this podcast before. We've talked about HBCUs and HBCU presidents and ADs being behind the eight ball on stuff. And even when you have a school that with an AD that's on top of it, the president wants to not do it, or they don't understand it, or they don't think it's a good idea. Every other school, especially D1 school, uses their athletics to make money for the school. I know good and damn well the University of Alabama gets money out of sports revenues to fund other shit on campus.
Florida
But
State
when
as
it
well.
gets Florida State, hell, LSU is letting their damn library fall in on their damn students, but they talking about building a new stadium. Like, but when it gets to us, we shouldn't do that. It's like, but why? It ain't illegal. It ain't illegal. It ain't immoral. Hell, everybody else want to go to school for free that can't shoot a damn ball.
What's the difference?
But here's the thing, though. Donte Jackson and Dr. Paul Bryant have had a working relationship ever since he was at Stillman. So wherever Dr. Bryant was, that's where he got Donte Jackson at.
All right, Doc, I'm gonna ask you this question, right? And it's a very detailed what if, but what if Grambling State had $2 million in NIL just for the basketball team? We're just gonna limit it to the basketball team. Let's say they had $2 million over 4 years for the basketball team, and Alabama A&M did not. Do you think Donte Jackson, who had just went and won a play-in game at an NCAA tournament, was leaving Grambling State?
Yeah, but like I said, it's always about that working relationship. Like he was at Stillman, Dr. Bryant was the AD. He was at Grambling.
I completely understand all that. I'm just asking. I'm specifically asking a specific scenario. If the resources to get the players that he want was there, because in the article he said players want money. It's not just about your facilities. Players want money. If the money was there, do you think it would have been so easy for Alabama A&M to snag him?
No.
Only reason I asked that question is because of the way he answered the question in the article. It would seem to me it wasn't a shot at Grambling State. It was a warning to interested parties in the state of the program. That's what it seemed to me. Again, go back and read the article, interpret how you will. That's just what I thought it meant. Because if, God forbid, Brooke Wyckoff went to Central Florida, and when they interviewed her, she said, well, Central Florida, they have the resources for today's player. You know how many tables I'm flipping over? I am against protesting in this current state of the nation, but there will be me and about 120 FSU fans protesting at Florida State. Because I don't know what just happened. I feel like we got some stuff. We got some stuff to work out. But again, read the article, interpret it how you will. Alabama A&M is they moving things. Also, we reported that Don Thornton, the women's basketball coach for Alabama A&M. Let's give a moment of silence for Don Thornton and her wonderful outfit. Don Thornton has not been named as Morgan State's basketball coach, and a lot of people were reporting, "Oh, she's just one of the finalists." Live for Hoops confirmed she's just one of the finalists. She has not been selected, and Coach Thornton has been. If you look at her social media account, everything she posts is about Alabama A&M. So until she say I'm gone, she at Alabama A&M, and as long as she at Alabama A&M, I'm gonna be real happy. Hold on. But that being said, um, whew, it is what it is. What is happening? Anyway, um, I'm sorry, y'all. I just saw something on Twitter I ain't had no business seeing. Um, it happens like that. It happens like that. As Lord Jamal pointed out earlier, um, Cotty McMahon might be going to Ole Miss. If she does, that furthers my SEC got media rights deal that trickle down to everything else money narrative is a fact. So
I mean,
I
I
just
don't even think it's just that. I think the SEC is just obsessed with winning. Like they don't want to just beat you in one thing. I want to beat your ass in everything, and it should be like that everywhere. It's not enough that I'm just good at football. Fuck that. I want to be good at football, and I want to kick your teeth in golf and women's basketball.
I tend to
You
agree.
gotta spread the wealth when it's like that, though. And hey, well, Coach Yo said the players call her and ask for Buddy first. She hang up the phone. She don't worry about it.
You know what? Since you brought that up, we got a new segment. Ball up top. Ball up top. So first first topic on ball up top, I need y'all to understand something. All you people that keep retweeting that article about from Front Row Sports that the University of Florida basketball team didn't build a program on NIL, they've been on analytics. Shut the fuck up. These people had a will work for NIL signs up and down 75. They had a big ass sign in St. Pete in front of the Tropicana Field Dome. Shut up. There is NIL in that program. Stop it. The fact that y'all sitting there pushing that lie and a damn Florida fan, not damn Florida fan said, that's right, that's how we built the program. Wanna know why? So the Florida fans that I follow, most of them donate. And they know what they donated to. So when that article was published, I know a couple of them was like,
Hold on.
Program, get this. You got a 7'9" guy on the bench and a 7'1" dude who can't guard nobody. But it ain't no NIL.
I mean, for some reason, I don't know why, but people forget that UF got old money.
Yeah.
Like when you say old money, people think of like Texas, Alabama, all those. Nah, UF got old money.
Yeah.
UF, if you know who Morgan and Morgan law firm is,
Yeah.
Morgan and
Yup.
Morgan is a low end, high level donor. Low end, high level donor. Now think about the people who got big money. But again, they're gonna try and fool you. So I just
You can't fool me. I live here. I already know the truth. Hey, my sister went to UF in 2001, and I can tell you what Gainesville looked like when you came off the turnpike. When you hit that exit, I'm telling you, it's funniest shit ever. They got manatees painted under the overpass when you get off the exit. It's like this shit landlocked. In 2001, you went right to go to the school. If you went left, you were gonna think you was somewhere in Alabama somewhere. Now you get off the exit to go to that damn school in that area. Shit. They are the school on the whole damn county down there.
I just, there's Alachua County and there's Alachua. That's all I'm gonna say. Them people got money.
And there
Stop
you
telling
have
them
it.
lies. So, but here's my favorite part of Ball Up Top. I get notifications of the transfer portal. And I missed the story and I was confused on why North Texas, the entire basketball team was in the transfer portal. I'll tell you why. New West Virginia coach Ross Hodge just signed a 5-year agreement to pay him $15 million, which includes a hefty buyout if he leaves within a year. Now, Mr. Hodge was at North Texas. North Texas has been lighting up my notifications for the last 3 days. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me what was going on because I missed the story. So all the people that are pushing the narrative that, players are in the transfer portal because they only want money, 90% of the players that are in the transfer portal will not get a dime.
Why won't they get paid, Troy?
Because they're not transferring for money. Some of them are following their coach. Some of them are trying to just get better exposure. And then there are some who are getting bad advice. And of course, there are some that have great talent that are going to be on a squad somewhere playing basketball. There is going to be a chunk of players who aren't playing anywhere. And that's the sad part about all of it.
I mean, but I can see that though, right? Because we remember sports prior to all of this. And you would see kids would be out of school, and if they were not like a straight up like standout or rock star, if the coach left, they would bring in new coaching staff, new schemes, and you would never hear from that kid ever again. They would graduate and move on with life.
Yeah.
But now it's like, hey, if my coach is leaving and coach said I'm going to Virginia, come on, let's go. At least I still get to play, or at least I understand this scheme and I understand this system. So even if he get in more players, I know I can fight for a spot and I can play. So I can see it on all levels, right? Like that big name kid that showed out last season. You know why they in the portal.
I mean, look at the exodus from James Madison to Indiana. They followed their coach. It happens.
And so it's the ability for it to happen now is because the freedom of movement of the transfer portal. That's why I say for all those people saying, the transfer portal is bad, shut up.
And I don't mind it, man. I really don't. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Troy. I really don't mind it.
If you can get your NIL apparatus up, if you can get your resources up to show players that they have the ability to get developed, be exposed, and have a chance at the next level, whatever that next level is, you have the ability to bring in players. And here's another thing. There are almost 2,000 players in the portal. There are only 4,000 spots available in Division I. Do you understand? Coaches, it's now a buyer's market. Coaches still have the opportunity. Yet some unemployed coaches that I follow want to spend their day talking about how players don't want to be coached. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen real quick. Because I need everybody to understand what I'm about to say. I love 99% of coaches that work with young players. I absolutely love what Coach Crary is doing at Florida State. I love Coach Brooke, what she's done Coach Crary has done at FAMU, what Coach Brooke has done at at Florida State, what Coach Thornton is doing at Alabama A&M. I love coaches that love the coach. I hate coaches that make excuses on why they couldn't lead. If players don't follow you, now granted, you ain't
exactly.
Yeah.
This is a you issue, not a player's issue. And it's starting to get to the point now where, man, how?
No, this is something that needs to be discussed prior to hiring the coach, right? If we bring you in, are you going to bring talent with you? Are you going to be able to recruit talent? And are you going to be able to bring some of the talent that you had on your old team? That's a real question.
Yeah, that's a legitimate question.
I mean, but it's legit, but it's also progressive. We talk about sports administration all the time, and that is the progressive question that a forward-thinking AD got to ask. Like, yo, I'm interviewing you, but I'm looking at the portal right now. You got like 10 players over there, and they were in the portal before 2 weeks before I even decided to interview you. You ain't even know you was coming over here for that interview. So what is it?
Were you the problem?
Right. So it should be us, but it is definitely progressive. And for a coach that isn't introspective, I guess, and they don't know how to look at themselves, they ain't gonna lie and they not gonna understand it. Well, they'll understand it, but they gonna lie about what's going on. And they gonna quickly be out of that spot too, because you can't bring in talent and you can't retain talent. And I think with the transfer portal, you're gonna start putting more emphasis on retaining talent. Arizona women's basketball team, whole team in the portal. And they thinking about hiring that lady at Texas Tech, I believe. No, not Texas Tech. Shit, I'm thinking name of school
Hold
in a minute.
on.
It's in Texas. So it's the same thing. I think it's like two or three other squads. Hell, Notre Dame, all of their women jumped in the portal. Whole squad in the portal.
That's nasty. Nasty word. That's the one thing I don't like. Like
if I speak,
squad leaving.
You know what? No, I'm gonna speak. It's ball up top. This what this stuff. This is the ball up top segment. You know why the whole team is in the portal? Again, this starts with a simple question: are we serious about women's sports? It is no longer going to be.
Too, though.
There is an NIL for Notre Dame men's sports. Don't let nobody fool you. Don't let them Jesuits tell you that lie.
Who would believe that Notre Dame doesn't have somebody on their staff that's a bag man?
Bro, as soon as this shit passed, Notre Dame had an ass in the office. You know.
They got a super bag man for real.
They got money. They money older than everybody.
They one of the only teams in the country that has an we know that they're independent, right? Because they don't have a conference, but they have an independent TV contract.
Yeah.
They are the only team. That's why they haven't went to any other conference, because they would lose money.
Yes.
Notre Dame has a NIL, but Notre Dame feels like they don't have to play women ball players. So when these young ladies,
it's also a Catholic school. We understand how they feel about women in general.
Pretty much.
Again, that's why I call them the Jesuits. The Jesuits feel like they don't have to play women players. That they're Notre Dame. They can just get whoever they want to come in, and it will keep rolling. Let me tell you something. You cannot live this way. It will not keep rolling this way.
No.
It,
And they gonna look up and fuck around with a fuck around, and Noel Ivy gonna be gone too.
and you know how I got that terrible toxic trait that I like to tell you. I told you so. Let's go ahead and get to. Let's just go ahead and get to I told you so. Let's just go ahead and get to I told you so. Because yeah, this right here. Keep taking it for a game. Keep taking it for a game. Kris Jenkins is suing the NCAA for limiting his play at Villanova. Now, this isn't a one-off. The House settlement and the judge knew that this was coming down the pike. They even cited it in one of the settlement discussions. However, here's the thing. In the House TP, I got background. In the House settlement, these attorneys are seeking to limit third-party NIL deals, which was part of the discussion with the Supreme Court when they struck down then the NCAA limiting players' pay for name, image, and likeness. A player can get through a third party as much money as he wants, but the revenue sharing should be the limitation. This is not going to be the first lawsuit. It's not the first lawsuit. I think there's a handful. But active players going to mess around and sue too. And that's when it's going to be a problem.
No, but that makes sense. Like, I understand limiting revenue sharing, right? But in a free market, free economy system, you can't limit how I make my damn money. The hell is wrong with you?
Right, no, that's absolutely insane.
And if the name, image, and likeness is me selling my name, image, and likeness, then who the fuck is the NCAA to tell me, hey, whoa, you can't make that much money? This ain't fucking welfare.
You about to see a whole bunch of changes by the end of this year.
That's why I say fuck them leprechauns.
So
Fuck the leprechauns. Goddamn.
what just happened? So, you know, I mean, good luck, Notre Dame. Because the season y'all had this year, y'all better do some hellified recruiting out the portal. By the way, the women's players, that is a small network. They talk.
Oh, they talk, and they are all friends. Like, don't let the competitiveness fool you. They all friends. They snitch.
Oh man. I want to look at the Celtics score.
It's close, and y'all losing now. But it's close though. Y'all not getting blown
it's
out.
Close.
Y'all not getting blown out like y'all usually do. So
Milwaukee getting blown out though.
Yeah.
Dallas to New York next year? And Mike Malone? No, too much.
Nah. Yeah.
Maybe Mike. But no.
How you let Porzingis and Tatum get 29 points? Y'all not playing no defense.
I mean, when Jaylen Brown got like 0. He has 6, I think.
Porzingis got 10. Porzingis is shooting 10 of 18, 7 of 12 from 3 from 29 points. He only got 3 rebounds. Imagine being 1,000,000 feet tall and only having 3 rebounds.
That 7'9" dude at Florida.
But it's just
big for no reason.
You know what, Lord, please let another Shaq come through to fix basketball. Because Shaq said he would put 40 on Jokic. Jokic might take him out and shoot some threes on a pick and pop. He said, but he gonna foul out the game because I'm gonna get.
Hold on now. Are we talking about Lakers Shaq or Orlando Shaq? Because Orlando Shaq could give Jokic the business. Lakers Shaq is just going
both of them.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Miami Heat Shaq.
Bro, Miami Heat shot. Yeah, now he might have been at the end of his gas tank, but bro, Shaq was causing hell, and that's why Dwayne Wade was able to do what he do because people still had to respect Shaq.
Because that was at the end of that.
I'm just saying because
still all right.
I like. Don't get me wrong. All three phases of Shaq was nice, but that Orlando Shaq was just something different because you just ain't never seen nobody that big that could run, that was everything. We talking about when he was at least 290 pounds.
He was also 20.
Right. Hey, I'll take that Shaq any day.
We all would.
What is going on?
Shaq at 20 and 32-year-old Shaq. Hey, he might have been older, but he was smarter though. He worked this.
Hey man, get OG Anunoby off the court, man. This man is a -10. Get him off the court. This man is 3 of 10 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. And don't not to be outdone. Mikal Bridges has played 29 minutes. He is 4 of 13 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. He is a -5. And Jalen Brunson, why is Jalen Brunson even in the game?
What do you mean?
He's a minus. He need to have his. He the
only one scoring. Him and Cat the only one scoring.
He need to elevate his ankles for the playoffs.
He's 4 for 8 from 3.
I don't care. This is about championships. This man took 15 shots. He coming off an ankle injury, and Tibbs didn't play him 30 minutes.
Yeah, he played the whole first quarter.
Do you understand? I want Tibbs fired.
Well, hold on. The thing is though, like he has to play a certain number of games to get the All NBA recognition and all that. So he has to play at least 4 games to do that.
With all due respect.
You don't want the man to get paid? You don't give a damn about him getting paid. You a hater. You an angry elf over there. He only got man. I mean, you could say like, oh, he could finesse it and only play 1 minute, but that's stupid too. But whatever.
Just understand me. I want the man to get his money, but is he gonna get the money if he turn his ankle in a meaningless game against the Boston Celtics because you're trying to prove you can beat them? You had 6 other games to prove that.
It's really subjective because you want to go into the playoffs firing on all cylinders. So, like, if you're not playing and, the team ends up losing and now you are feeling the pressure even more, I don't know.
Right. You got to give him also time to, like, get acclimated with everybody and all that, too, I feel like.
I don't even want to think about
it. And to be completely honest, I don't think the Knicks are a clean sweep better than Detroit. So
I agree.
So
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, TP. Let's talk about it.
I mean, Detroit probably matches up better with New York than Milwaukee or the Pacers. So they probably gonna have the hardest. They're gonna have the hardest challenge getting out of the first round.
Detroit is a crazy wild card. Wild card.
So
I think the Celtics should walk past the Magic. Like I liked them early in the year, but they just haven't. It's the same story every year with Orlando. They got a young team, they balling, they playing together, but they don't have enough in the playoffs. It happens that they don't have enough leadership or veteran talent on that team to make a deep run.
That's the ownership.
That's ownership. And it's been the same story.
But ownership don't want to pay. They do not want to pay.
No, they don't. And that's why they'll be consistently in the bottom half of the teams that make the playoffs and get knocked out first or second round. It happens every year.
Every year.
We know they got money. They've been selling Amway since 1972. They got money. They done ruined all kind of families across America with Amway. We know they got money.
Yeah, they got it.
Don't
They
take
just don't
Amway
want to
products
part
are
with it.
good, by the way. Smart water is like the best shit ever. Like, don't do Amway, man. Don't
No, I'm
drag.
finna do it. Listen, I'm finna drag Amway all the way through the street and
Don't
back.
drag Amway into this. This is coming straight from the owner.
Amway is like the crackhead in your family. They always coming asking for money, and they got a deal for you. If you sign these 50 people up, then you can make this money.
Yo, I just heard somebody say crackhead. Who the crackheads?
The Amway
Yeah,
representative.
Amway.
See,
Amway is the crackhead.
Amway is the least pyramid schemes of pyramid schemes because you can actually make a living selling just the products. You
I
don't
get
have
right,
to
man.
buy people up.
But it's wild because it was also the very first pyramid scheme.
Yeah, because it was originally because the pyramid scheme. So here's the thing: if you don't understand what a pyramid scheme is, with a pyramid scheme, there's no actual product. It's you sign this person up to, then you get paid for every person that they sign up, and then they
They
get paid
get
for every
paid,
person that
yeah.
they get signed up. That's
Right.
the pyramid scheme. There's no actual product being distributed. Amway is a little different now. Just like Mary Kay and fucking everybody, we all had the Avon lady, same shit.
yeah, Avon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's same shit. So don't drag Amway into this, Troy, because you feeling some type of way and you feel like your Knicks lose to Detroit because Tibbs want to play everybody every minute. Do the Knicks have a bench? Look, after all these years, do the Knicks have a bench? Answer that question, Troy, and I'll tell you how far y'all
Still
go in the
no.
playoffs.
And it's still
We
no.
ha-
Hey, y'all winning though.
we
Y'all
haven't
winning right now.
no
Though.
we have a bench. We don't play the bench. That is the problem. You
So it
have
sounds like if anybody should have been fired this week, it's Nick's head coach.
see, but if I say it, I'm wrong.
I
I
say
tell you what. If we see the same story, meaning Knicks get in the playoffs, they're playing well, they beating people, they get past Detroit, they make it to the second round. Who would they would end up having to play the one, right?
The way it stands now, yeah.
Yeah.
They would have to play. Y'all end up having to
Because
play
they're the 4 or
Cleveland in the
5
second
right
round. So let's not. You don't want to look ahead too far, but it's probably gonna be Knicks versus Cleveland in the second round.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, no, it would be like
no, because
no, they would play Boston. Sorry, because they're the 3.
Yeah,
Boston's
the
2,
3-6.
So
would
either
end up
way,
playing the
either
1
way.
versus 8, and the 2-7 plays the 4-5. Because
Yeah,
you don't
so
want to
they
have
would-
the second round, the second seeded team playing the 1 seed in the second round. So they would end up playing Cleveland in the second round. If they get to that series and they start off winning, right? Then somebody gets hurt because they've been playing 40 minutes a night, 44 minutes a night. Okay, now Tibbs got to go. Because clearly he don't understand how to manage his roster during the game. He did it in Milwaukee. I mean, he did it in Chicago. He's doing it in New York. So just don't look past Detroit. That's all I'm saying. Don't look past Detroit.
No, Detroit got some young hoopers, man.
Yeah, Detroit is young, and if we play 9 players on the team, we can beat Detroit.
I say 8. You bring in that 9 only if you need to, but that's only in case of foul trouble. You don't have to. You can have a solid 8. You can have somebody that's the designated 6 man that plays about 30 minutes a game. They split time with the starter, and then you rotate that way. You let him come in. You can let Mikal Bridges come in and play, and him and Obanobi both play 30 minutes. And then we swap out. And then like you can have Obanobi and Mikal Bridges with can't think his name right now.
You talking about Josh Hart?
Nah, you can sit Josh Hart down, and then you can bring in Mikal Bridges because he can still do a lot of the things that Hart does. He can rebound, he can still hit the shots, he can play the defense. So You can still have them all in the rotation, but that can be your front court. And then when you want to go big, you take Brunson out, you leave Bridges and Ogbonnobi on the court. You see what I'm saying? But you at least let them get a break.
All right, so let me cut Tim a little bit of slack, and then I'm gonna lean into him. As of right now, Shamet has played 7 minutes. That's the 9th man off the bench. McBride has played 20 minutes. Cameron Payne has played 14 minutes, and Robinson has played 16 minutes. However, Josh Hart has played 43 minutes. What are we doing? And it's a tie game. 2.9 seconds.
Yeah, about to go to overtime. He about to play more than 43. He about to play 48. He about to play 48 minutes.
I doubt he comes off the court in overtime. And I wouldn't blame the coach for not taking him out in overtime. Because you can go with a small lineup and let Brunson, Ogbonnobi, Bridges, and Josh Hart be on the court with Cat at the 5. You can do that because you have the flexibility of getting up and down the court. You got the speed advantage. You should be able to run them out of the game in the fourth quarter. In overtime with that lineup.
All right. So right now, everybody else is either even in their plus or minus, or they're positive plus minus, except OG Anunoby, who just gave up that 3. Why is he in the game?
Because who else you gonna put in the game? Josh Hart took the last shot. All right, I'm mad.
This man has no legs, and he's taking the last shot. You know what? See,
you gonna say that man ain't got legs? You don't know his conditioning program.
This man kept them played 40. You know what? You're right, TP. I don't know what his legs can do. So are we gonna wait to after the playoffs to make Mike Malone the head coach, or we just gonna do it right now and then finish out the season? That's all I'm asking. It's too much talent on this team to be losing like this. Too much talent. Just
y'all ain't finna lose though. Y'all about to go to overtime right now. Y'all might win. Y'all about to get y'all first win with the team against a team that's top 2 in the conference or top 4 team in the league. Y'all about to do it. Go Timbs. It's not go Timbs though.
Josh Hart dribbled to the 3-point line and took a 3-point shot for the tie game. So we just say F the mid range.
Yep. The NBA going NBA.
Yep.
You know what? Pack up OG Anunoby and Josh Hart and give me Kevin Durant. I give you 3 first-round picks.
Oh yeah,
give me
let's do
Kevin Durant.
Let me get that.
Jeez.
Let me get that.
At least Kevin Durant got smart shot selection. Damn.
Jesus Christ. Oh, and I still love my Knicks. This is the best season they've had in a very long time. Not saying much. By the way, who was that on Twitter that said Allen Houston got a beautiful jump shot over a better looking jump shot over Klay Thompson? Who was that person?
I want to know why people pissed off Melo is first ballot Hall of Fame and why in the fuck did you think he wouldn't be?
Right.
Like, are y'all dumb? Like, y'all are not fucking okay. But then I also have to remind myself that people did not see prime Melo play. I did. I remember that one season at Syracuse.
Man,
it was an unforgettable season.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say this.
I remember Denver Carmelo, and the only reason why he didn't whoop ass was because he had no help because of the same horrible ass ownership.
No, that's that motherfucking coach. But
ownership, not the coach.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Of the profession, what I have a select group of players that I call professional scorers. These are the dudes that can roll out of bed, half sleep, and still score 20. Iceman George Gervin, Alex English,
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo Anthony,
Mm-hmm.
Carl Crawford, and the two women having Lemon Pepper Lou. Them dudes can get out the bed drunk and score 20 on anybody. Of that group, Carmelo is the best I have ever seen.
What about Kevin Durant? No.
And Kevin Durant is a different type of scorer. I'm talking about Kevin Durant. He got to be in perfect shape, otherwise he get injured. These dudes can be. I seen Alex English put 55 on the Lakers, and I'm talking about Showtime Lakers injured on an injured ankle, and wouldn't come out the game. How you have 35 points in the third quarter?
No,
It tell the coach you ain't coming out the game.
I see that because I fully believe you can go and get Melo right now and he will give you a good 25. He might not play no defense, but he gonna give you 25
Right now.
right now.
And y'all know how much I think Jordan is the NBA GOAT. I do. Do not get me wrong. Hear me when I say there is a reason why they call Melo Captain America. There is a reason. It is a reason Porzingis patterned his game after Melo.
Yep.
Melo in the Olympics ain't nobody better. And I love Jordan. Ain't nobody like Melo. No, not Kobe, not Vince. Ain't nobody like Melo.
No, you know what? I remember it might have been Kevin Garnett. He was talking about how like playing against Carmelo. He was like, man, Melo used to lay on you, bro. He was like, you would get mad when you realized you had to play him that week and you was gonna be guarding him. It's like he would lay. He was like, by the time you finish guard Melo at the end of the night, you are beat up and fucking tired, and he done put up 45 and left.
Hey, it,
And that came from Kevin Garnett.
over basketball.
Kevin Garnett said that about Carmelo, bro.
Listen, y'all gonna have to forgive the phrase because this phrase existed before pause. Carmelo was not a gym rat. Carmelo is what we
No,
used to call back in the day cockstraw. Carmelo would just bully people. Insert pause wherever you want to, kids. I'm just telling you what we call it. But
yeah,
that's Melo. And then after he done leaned on you all game long, he ain't gonna have the audacity to go outside and drive to the lane. Excuse me, sir.
Where you
Excuse
going?
me. We was down here for 15 minutes. Why you out there?
yeah. And he's coming back in, and you're not gonna stop him.
Time out, coach.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't start trapping. And you could trap Melo and could not get the ball out his hands.
I'm gonna tell you what Melo, who's a Melo mixture of Melo is. Mark Aguirre. He's a mix of Mark Aguirre and I would say Bernard King.
Ooh,
I'm not
that
mad at that. I can see that.
He is
I
a
can see
mix
that.
because Mark Aguirre and Bernard King will back you down and like you said, just punish you all the way through because it's like guarding. It was basically guarding Melo is like guarding four motherfuckers at the same time.
just
Cause
it's
you know he gonna pull up from three. He gonna He gonna get you the mid range, and then too, he was a good defensive rebounder.
Yep.
Because we all gotta remember when he was at Syracuse, the boy averaged almost 10 rebounds a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So, and I know and nobody was mad but those kids that honestly they might have saw him play in New York, maybe, but they don't know the real Melo. They didn't see the real Melo play. And I'm calling it right now. Cayenne Anthony is him part two. He just skinny and fast.
Yeah.
I want Cayenne to come into college with an attitude because the disrespect that he suffered. I want his first game. He put up 45 and 10.
Yeah, but
'Cause-
you know what? Did you fuck what podcast it was? Might have been Gilbert Arenas show where Melo was like, "Oh, he going to college all 4 years. The fuck are we doing? He's
Hey,
not jumping. Where are you going?
hey,
You ain't
and
ready
then
for that."
you gotta with Melo, you gotta know the difference between Denver Melo and and Hoodie Melo when he got to New York.
Yeah,
Hoodie Melo was a menace. Denver Melo was quick off the damn dribble.
Melo is the only player that we will not penalize for not
for
joining up
not
with
having a
nobody
ring.
and not having a ring.
My
You right?
man said he want the money. What you talking about?
It
Yeah,
wasn't even that. He was supposed to have running mates in New York, but a certain player couldn't stay healthy. But he was taking wine baths.
We talking about Amari.
Wine baths. If you don't get your ass in that cold tub,
Amari time was done when
yeah. It was done by the time he got there. He
he
really
got
gave
there.
it
He was
gave it his
already exhausted.
all. He gave it his all when he was in Phoenix. He was done when he got there. The real shame is that honestly they never put nobody around him in Denver. That's the real shame.
yeah.
Earl Boykins was his damn point guard.
Which is so crazy. And then it was old Allen Iverson.
And then it was old Allen Iverson. Exactly.
And
Earl
they
Nasty,
still
Boykins was
nasty
this
work.
man's point guard.
They
Nasty work.
still made it to the Western Conference Finals.
Well, who is his best
He
point guard? I
had
forget. Not Eric Snow. Andre Miller. Andre Miller was
Andre
his
Miller.
best point guard.
Andre Miller was the best point guard he ever had.
Who?
That's a
You
damn
talking about
shame.
Melo?
That's a damn
Yeah.
shame. That's a damn shame. And it was all Andre Miller too. That's the crazy part.
You know
Man,
what?
you talking about
You know-
super.
you
Now
know-
you talking about super back down. That's a dude that back you down.
Let me put
Yeah,
this banner
but
up
that
real
was
quick.
talk about it, dog. Yeah.
Let me
we
put this
didn't
banner
say
up real
nothing
quick.
wrong.
No, I'm finna say something wrong. I'm finna say something wrong. I'm finna say it.
Bro. Oh my God. Lakers.
Listen.
Damn.
Out of this game. Jesus.
All right. Listen, I'm gonna say this, right? Melo had got injured in New York, and we had this Asian phenomenon known as Linsanity.
That shit pissed me off. Don't piss me off.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me cook. And we got all hyped about this point guard scoring all these points against players who played no defense. And then when Melo got healthy, Mike D'Antoni gonna have the audacity, the unmitigated gall to say, let him run it. If you don't give Melo the goddamn ball and get out the way,
And that's why he had never had another head coach position since. Go sit down, sir.
Like for real, I don't think there's another dude that could actually be like Carmelo Anthony. And the
Nope.
only other person that I know that was almost like that was DeMar DeRozan because of his mid-range game. And he, the explosiveness coming out the dribble. But I don't think nobody else gonna be like that.
if young
And I believe
players
you're right.
if young players study Melo, because remember, Melo
You put
was a
study
three.
and young in the same damn sentence. Excuse me.
Melo was a 3-level scorer. The one thing in this
They,
current era of basketball, a 3-level scorer, man.
you know, the number of people I've argued with about 3-level scores on both sides of the ball for men and women. Oh, do they not teach 3-level score? Do they not teach that it's 3 levels to the court no more? Do they just not cover this at all at any part of your playing journey?
Layups and
No,
threes. That's all they know.
right.
That's it. Layups and threes.
Yep.
Like the
Well,
mid
see,
range is right there. It wins games. I promise you it do.
but people would look at the mid range game and be like, "Oh, that's weak." But like, no, bro, you got to understand. You have to understand who you are and what you're about. Yo,
Yeah.
the greatest basketball player that everybody say was not a 3-point shooter.
No, he had a mid range.
He had a mid range game.
And
In
he
fact,
and he
in
did
fact,
not miss.
in fact,
Analytics,
remember,
Doc. Analytics, though, Doc.
yeah,
No,
Man,
this
analytics.
shut up.
is
My bad. I'm sorry.
but
No,
see
it's
these guys transcended the whole analytics thing.
right. It's analytics, but at the same time, bro, it's what he was taught. Like he was taught a mid range. Like you would never have a guy like Melo or KD who's a mid range nightmare at 7 foot that could shoot just shoot the mid range like that. You don't never have no guys. Even with DeMar DeRozan, he coming down towards the end of his career too. Like for real, he's a mid
And
range guy.
he started out like that, but his kryptonite was every time he saw LeBron, he folded. That was
Yeah.
the story of his career early when he was in Toronto because they got knocked out by LeBron, whether he was in Cleveland or Miami. When DeMar DeRozan saw King James, he turned into a
Spooky.
bitch. I'm sorry.
It got spooky.
He was scared out there, bro. It was not good. And that's gonna be the story of his career. You take LeBron out of the equation, DeMar DeRozan might get to a championship because they came close.
Shoot,
Hey,
he
you
may
just
see him
somebody.
again right now. He may see him again this year.
You name
He
another
might.
person who
And what he gonna do? Fold
You
like
name
Big
another-
Orlando.
child.
but you name another person who worked on his mid range game too. Even though he worked on outside, he had a mid range game. You talked about LeBron. Like, hey man,
I mean,
folk, like
shoot
I
down.
think kids nowadays just need to
Shoot.
don't focus too much on shooting a three. Get you a mid range. You know what I'm saying? And if
That,
you in the post,
Miami LeBron was mid range all day. He was averaging 41% from mid range.
that requires kids to actually watch games and study. Kids don't watch games and actually study.
Not
Yeah.
anymore, no.
Not anymore.
They don't like. They
who's
don't.
another person we know that had a
They
mid
don't.
range
They
game?
don't take a
In
pick.
both
They don't pick
sports.
a. They don't pick a
In
player
both
and be
sports.
like, "That's who I want to play like," and model everything out in their life after that player. They don't do that no more.
I wouldn't be mad if we had more Reggie Miller types.
Yeah, we need a couple
What
Dennis
happened?
Rodmans now. I'm not even.
Just watch. I don't want to spoil it. Just watch. Watch the dumb shit. I got people's controller shutting off again. You want to go ahead and explain to people, Troy, what just happened in this Nick game? Down
Oh,
3.
dear.
Oh man, what are we doing?
Look at Melo. Look at Melo. Melo's so mad. Like Bridges. You have one job. You get the pass and give it back to Big Cat. That's it. That is it. Like, oh my.
He just fumbled the ball out of bounds, down 3.
You know, if you
15
play
seconds left.
if you play other players on the team, you have fresh legs and you don't have mental errors because they're not tired. You know what? What I know, I don't know ball. I'm just a fan. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
Not a lick, Troy. You don't know nothing.
We just, oh man, it was something I was gonna get to, and I just completely forgot about it. We're gonna take a quick little break, and then we'll be right back.
This phone call is a risk. This is what you call.
And he doing it, and you doing it live.
Hey, quick question. What shoe size is Ash? Because Marlo is going to get him some snakeskin Rattler Air Force Ones.
Yes, sir.
He getting them.
He what size is he?
I don't know. You don't know about his shoes last. Shit, am I supposed to know that?
Oh, dear Father God. Remember when I said
You
this is...
First of all, you interrupted me eating my fucking french fries, and that's rude and disrespectful. Let's get that out of the way. Number two,
What happened?
I want to say a 5
What happened?
I think it was 5 was the last time I bought that shoe.
TP dying said something good just happened. What happened?
Is
Well,
you listening?
I am listening to you, Melissa, and so is podcast.
Sweet baby Jesus, what just happened? This has got to be podcast gold.
You don't interrupt the woman when she's eating French fries. Lesson learned today.
Classic.
I just want to say, I realized, TP, there was no confidence in my voice.
It was done.
That's what it was. You didn't have confidence going in.
Yeah,
No, you was done. She already knew you was bullshit.
I played that clip because Ash, in front of his Bethune-Cookman, and it was Bethune-Cookman in college when Miss Harvey graduated, in front of his Granny B, my son informed the world that he would be going to FAMU again.
Oh,
Well,
man.
got to raise him right.
Yup.
So, yeah. So there's that. It's been a wonderful week. And it's a little weird, but again, because of what I'm going through health wise, if you are a black man over 35, please go get your prostate checked. Your health is paramount. If you need to take time to speak to a mental health therapist, your mental is also as important as your physical health. Stop chasing the bag and ignoring your body. I promise you, as a 52-year-old man, that money is going to be there. But if you keep ignoring your body, you won't. That being said, let's get to our next segment. Whew. So, it's been one heck of a week. The UConn women's basketball team won their 12th title. They beat South Carolina, who is a rising and emerging, they're a national power, and they are starting to rival UConn, much the same way that UConn began to rival Tennessee. We saw the Bootskins beat Houston in the championship game. And there was a question of whether or not the University of Florida was a basketball blue blood. Understand this, right? I am very, very big on history. And sports history matters, and we tend to try to put narratives on things that we don't understand. But I said in a Twitter post, if Kansas is a blue blood with 4 titles, Them boot skins are a basketball blue blood with 3. They've had 4 Final Four appearances with 3 titles. With 3 titles. That's blue blood. And you can't quantify it in, they did this over the course of no. The same way that I talk about black national championships, it's the same way with basketball national championships. Because to be clear, Winston-Salem State is a basketball blue blood. They have more CIAA basketball championships than anybody. Kansas is a blue blood. If you understand Kansas, you understand why some of that history goes back to HBCUs, but we'll talk about that another day. That being said, congratulations to them blue bloods. I hope every one of y'all stub your toe at 3 a.m. in the morning when you got to run to the bathroom. For the students, I am glad y'all got to experience a national championship. Every student at their university should be able to experience one. It is a beautiful thing to be on campus to win a national championship. That being said, fuck the Piccolo player, fuck the mascot, fuck Joakim Noah, fuck Bradley Beal, fuck White Chocolate, fuck Udonis Haslam.
What?
Fuck Charlie Pell.
Haslam ain't even do nothing wrong.
Right, I'll go. No.
It's go nose round here. Hey, Doc, what you got for us this week, man? Did we lose Doc? I think we might have lost Doc, y'all. All right, DK, what you got for us this week?
All right. Well, now with the college basketball season, coming to a close with Florida, winning it all. It was a great season. I'm actually really glad that I kind of caught up, toward the end. I didn't really, watch much of the beginning, but it was a really good season, a lot of good talent. And for once, man, the teams that were supposed to win won or were winning. So that was, it was a nice change of pace. Some people probably didn't like it. It wasn't that exciting, but we got some good basketball. Like a lot of the games were really, really close. There really wasn't any blowouts. So in terms of the college basketball season, I feel like it ended on a really high note. And now we kind of roll over to the NBA season. That's also winding down. The entire East is wrapped up pretty much. It's just now about like where people are going to be seeding wise. And in the West, it's still a little bit of a fight. Apparently, the Suns still have some fight, but we have some huge questions in this offseason. I'm not going to be one of those people. Maybe Kevin Durant leaves, maybe Devin Booker leaves in the offseason. Are you going to switch to No, that's not. No, you're with whatever team or fandom you're a part of. You're with them through the thick and the thin. So in terms of them, even if they did somehow magically win every game and then Dallas or Sacramento lost every game from here on out, we're not making any noise in the playoffs. So what are we actually doing? Are we trying to build around Devin? Because Devin Booker's still old. Does he still want to be around and build around what we have now and kind of just figure it out again? Or because what we got going on right now ain't it. It is definitely not it. But it's gonna be a fun, end of the basketball season in terms of the NBA. So I'll catch you guys next Tuesday for what would be like the end of the NBA season. So till then, appreciate you guys.
Whew. All right. Real quick before we go to the next thing, we missed Coach Gordon being one of the top 10 players in points scored in an NCAA tournament, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, most points scored in women's NCAA tournament history. Coach Gordon is number 10 with 388. Coach Gordon was a bucket. TP, what you got for us this week?
Just congratulations, UConn women's basketball and University of Florida men's basketball. Great tournament. I understand that the viewership was lower for this national championship than it was for last year because of the whole Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese rivalry. And, I think that it was more so when you think about the big names and the controversy and everything, there was more leading up to last year. We had the all-time leading scorer going against Angel Reese, and, the whole turned into a black versus white thing, and you didn't really have that this year. Viewership was down, but I don't feel like that is – I feel like it would have been higher had Juju been able to make it to the championship. I think that was, America's sweetheart going into the season, going through the season into the tournament, and everybody was just looking forward to watching her play. And then, they may not have been keen to what Paige had going on or what they had going on in South Carolina. So, hopefully the viewership is, higher next year, in that right. But at the end of the day, it was a great tournament. UConn dominated. It's a good game. The Houston versus Florida game, look, like I said earlier, there was a lot of emotion going into the game, and you can see the emotion, on the players after the game. It was one player, he was walking towards the wrong locker room, and one of the personnel was trying to grab him and direct him where he actually needed to be going. I don't want it to get misconstrued that they was trying to hold him for a press conference. That's not what's going on. They don't do that. They let players go to the locker room before they have to come back out to do the post-game pressers and everything. So if you've seen that clip, just know that he was trying to go to the locker room, but he was actually going to the wrong area of the stadium, and they were trying to get him to go where he was supposed to go. But you can see the emotion on his face. They had just blew a 12-point lead, and you feel for him. You don't ever want to lose a game like that, and then you see how they had to battle back against Duke, and just making it to that stage was an accomplishment. But Houston, again, not able to get over the hump. So, we'll see what happens next year. It'll be a bunch of new faces, a bunch of new stars in men's college basketball. So I'm looking forward to, what's going on, and then we look forward to the NBA playoffs. It's a lot of storylines. The one thing that I hate the most is the play-in game. I don't think that if you finish 9th and you are 7 or 8 games out of contention that you should still have an opportunity. You had your chance during the season. Maybe stop resting players in December and going out there and actually trying to win every game. You won't be in that situation. That's just my personal opinion about it, but, hopefully it gets changed. But I feel like it's here to stay because it's something that's been added, and they want to at least give it a few years before they, can exit and move on to something else. So, great college basketball season, men and women. Let's get to the NBA playoffs, and we got the NFL draft in a couple weeks. So I'll probably be breaking that down more on Thursday as we get closer and closer. Been a lot of storylines talking about, whether or not Shadur is going to go in the top 10. Now saying he might drop to the end of the first round. you know, you never know with these type of things, man. He might be somebody's guy right now, and they're just not letting it be known, and they're gonna shock you on draft day. Last year, we didn't know that Michael Penix was gonna go in the top 10 after the first run of quarterbacks. We thought it was gonna be somebody that dropped, just like you know, a couple other quarterbacks in recent memory that dropped to either the mid or end of the first round. So a lot of things to keep an eye on, but we're gonna be definitely here to talk about it. And yeah, appreciate y'all for watching the Gathering of Old Men podcast, the March Madness podcast, and we will be back on Thursday with a lot of insight and funny Marlo. So
I'm ready for my take.
All right, Doc. TP said Hoodie Marlo. What you got for us, Doc?
I'm channeling my inner Hoodie Mello. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations to Carmelo Anthony for making it to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Not the NBA Hall of Fame, but the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Let's get this straight. It's basically chronicling his whole career from the time he was in high school all the way up into his NBA career. Even when he was in college at Syracuse, only for 1 year, he won a national championship. He played at Oak Hill Academy. He was a dog there. And when he got to the NBA, he was even more of a dog. He was an animal when he came into the NBA. So congratulations to him, and congratulations to all the other guys, other people that made it to the Basketball Hall of Fame. Other than that, I would say on Thursday, I'll be back on Thursday, fully ready. I'm here at work, so y'all gotta understand where I'm coming from. But it's bittersweet because this week, Friday is my last day at my store. So I will be headed to another store, getting paid a little bit more in a leadership position. And it'll be good for me. I'll be working overnight. I have 4 days on, 3 days off. I'll be off on the weekends. That is a great thing for me. That's a great thing for me. So other than that, man, look, I'm ready for the Gathering of Old Men. I'm ready for Marlo to act the fool because why? Like he said, fuck VCU. But then again, I don't care about the school in Baton Rouge. So other than that, it's Doc Holliday. I'm out.
You know, the fact that I got to keep putting that up is crazy. It's crazy. All right. First, before we get out of here, for everybody that has made our latest video the best video we've had in a single day, thank you. We don't normally get 129 views in the first 8 hours and 23 minutes. Thank you. Also, for the 132 subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Talk to your friends, tell a friend to tell a friend, like and subscribe, comment. I'm looking forward to your comments because without y'all, we wouldn't be anything. For everybody here at the Madness Basketball Podcast, we are out.